Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here in spite of everything. And in spite of everything, I am glad to be here. Last week, as I was boarding a plane, I overheard a man say to his wife, "My goodness, there's been another shooting in an elementary school, and it looks like at least 2 children have been killed." By the time I landed after watching the news on Wi-Fi on the plane, it went from 2 to 4 to 8 to 12 to 18, plus the teachers. I cried, as I'm sure a lot of you did. And then I watched as the camps started to divide. The political parties started throwing arrows at each other. Immediately they wanted to lay blame. You know, if I had a magic wand, I would take all of the senators and all the congressmen and put them into a room. I would lock the doors and say, "We're not leaving here." But let me ask you all one question. Raise your hand if you believe that it's okay to kill 3rd and 4th graders with an assault rifle. Raise your hand. We wouldn't have one person raise their hand. I'm confident of that. However, we would have something that every one of us had in common. And that was to do the very best we can to protect the children of the world and the children in our country and in our homes. And I would not let them out there. I would not let the press come in. I would not anywhere near. I would not let the lobbyists come anywhere near. I would not let their contributing parties come anywhere near. We are not leaving here till we resolve something. And if you really think about the parties that split up, most everybody that's arguing are arguing about the symptoms. How can we address the symptoms? You know, with getting rid of the rifles, hardening the schools, etc. It's just the symptoms. Who's talking about the causes? Now, we must treat the systems. I'm not trying to ignore them. And the cause. It's not one or the other. And the major setting for violence in America is where? In the home. It's in the home, because the home can strengthen America. And we've got this thing called media, television, movies, radios, games, etc., that are affecting Halo. You actually got kids murdering people in there. And by the time that studies have shown, by the time that a child is in middle school, he's on the average child has witnessed over 8,000 murders, over 100,000 acts of violence, and you don't think that doesn't affect them? You know, children's exposure to violence is an issue that touches everyone. It's an American tragedy, scars children and threatens the safety of communities. When they need love and they need nurturing and they need time to play games and do these things, and yet, you know how the American Indians would transfer knowledge from one generation to the next and how they would train their kids? There's stories of children taking a rope with knots in it and handing it to a blind grandpa and saying, "Can you please tell me this story, Grandpa?" And he would feel the knot and he would know the story and he would relate the story. And that's what they did in the evenings with their time. And what do we do today? Let me show you what we do today. This is just part of what we do today. This become the storytellers. These become the knots. Right here, because it's convenient. And you know what? We're delegating our leadership. We're delegating those stories. Our stories we're letting Hollywood tell them for us, which is absurd, especially when celebrities get up and they start talking about how we've got to change this and change that, and this is all bad and America's happening because of these people or this industry. And yet look at their industry. You trying to tell me that a kid watching television, or even adults watching television or movies or playing games, that it doesn't affect them psychologically? You know that it does. It hardens them. It hardens them and makes them immune. And it lets them accept violence as a way to solve problems. And it's impacting us. Let's bring it back home. Let's bring it back home. That's the one thing that we have control over, is we can bring it back home, and we can bring that into our families. Family is the starting place for peace. Mother Teresa said, if you want to change the world, go home and change your family. How can we focus on doing more of that? Let's get rid of this contention. Let's be able to work with both of them. Let's find a way. Let's find a way to share the things that are most important for us, the things that are most important for you, with those people that are most important to you. And then, you know what? The things that you thought were important for you will change when you know that you're giving them to the next generation. So let's find those things that are most important to us, and let's transfer them and share them with those people that are most important to us, our children. Look, I'm frustrated, you're frustrated. We can only affect those things that we can affect. So let's start with ourselves, and let's start in our homes, shall we? Thank you for letting me kind of unload a little bit. Have a meaningful week. We'll talk next week.